For a long period of time, human beings are so curious about everything, include from time, space, to the way how our nature behaves. We invented subjects such as physics to probe the velocity of objects. And by using mathematical methods, we also proved the truth that the acceleration is basically differentiation of velocity. Simply the rate of change of velocity. Then chemistry kicked off the door to enable us to explore in a microscopic world. This is a kinematic theory of molecules that lead to a concept of terminal velocity involved in physics subject. Because the way air particle moves can cause air resistance. You see, those science subjects are pretty much like a compound tightly associated. Normally, in terms of mathematics, especially statistics, mathematicians normally divide data or variables into two types: continuous data or discrete data. They defined discrete data or values, that is, counted as distinct and separate, and can only take particular values. Example: number of threads in a sheet, number of stars given for an energy rating, and they also define continuous data. These variables may take on any value within a finite or infinite interval. Example: height, time, and temperature. Let's considering video. Video is actually the moving frames. Like what we shoot now is 30 frames per second. Even the slow motion, well, up to 3,000 frames per second. Wow, that's really fast. I would say really slow actually. Even 30,000 frames per second. If we consider as a single frame that connect to each other, then we will have 30 individual frames or picture here. So we can simply work out how many frames there are in a second. So it means every frame will last for 0.33 seconds. But what if we have a camera that can shoot up to 1 trillion frames per second? I know that may be crazy. It's impossible with today's technology. But what if it exists? Then each frame will last for, so many 10 to the negative 12 seconds. That's a really short amount of time. And we can even explore it in further detail. If we imagine there is a camera that shoots infinite frames per second. I know that's impossible, but we can theoretically calculate each frame will last for 1 over infinite second. It's not equal 0. That's really a short amount of time of each frame. Even by using the super high speed that would never exist on the world, this kind of camera, we cannot shoot that continuous video. What about in our reality? In our reality, times, length, most common sense quantity that we face. For example, as time goes by, we can divide each period of time into several seconds, or in terms of hours. Is a second indivisible? No, actually it's not. A second, although it is very short, we still can divide into smaller pieces, such as millisecond, microsecond, or even small as picosecond, as noted in the SI unit. So is a length a continuous variable? You may say yes. Well, if we have a length of 10 meters, and its middle point is at 5.0 meters, so what is right next to it? If we magnify the scale, and we have 5.0 and 6.0 meters. So 5.2 meter is really close, but is it 5.1? And we can magnify even closer. Is it 5.0001 or 002? We can even magnify it even further. If we have 5.0, infinite 0 and 1. So how can we figure out what is right next to 5.0 meters? So it indicates the length is not a continuous data that with an interval of 1 over infinity, which is not equal to 0.